standing up helping you.
Yeah, I was just, I want to see what he's doing on the inside, that's all.
And the thing is, too, you just gotta let the wheel do the work. 'Cause the centrifugal force is spinning. You don't necessarily want to go too fast or fight it. You just kind of have to ride with it.
Were you pulling back on yourself like this?
Well, it was more like I'm cupping in and pulling with the knuckle.
Okay.
I'll have one hand like this,
Okay.
one hand over this way. Also, you have to remember too, as it opens up, the larger the form, the faster it will be spinning. So on a very low setting on the wheel, this form could be spinning actually very fast. So just take that into consideration too.
But it is spinning fast, even though it's going slow? Is that what you're saying?
Just because the form itself.
Just because of the size of it.
So I'm gonna clean up a little quickly here, compress the bottom, and then I'll start my first pull.
To tilt them forward makes all the difference in the world.
So you're compressing now?
Yep, compressing the
Okay.
bottom.
I got 3 or 4 people that did that.
So I might stop it really quick just to check. I don't know if I have a needle tool. Does anybody have a needle?
You want a needle, I'll get you one.
Yep, so right now, I'm about 1.5 inches. So that's kind of the perfect scale that you want to be at.
So you're just compressing.
Yep, just compressing. Just a
I can't
compression,
take it, I
compression,
can come
compression.
see.
So now that I got sort of my bottom the way I want it, now this is the difficult part. The first couple pulls. And I might even open it a little bit more first, before I really start to get into the pullings.
More important to get that compression on large stuff.
What's that, Brian?
Is that more important to get that compression going on large stuff?
Is it more difficult?
No, is it more important?
Oh, yes. I mean, especially later on, you don't want your piece, put all this energy into it and then have it crack on you. So drying is extremely critical and crucial. A piece like this, that's 1.5 inches all the way through to 2.5 inches. Take anywhere from 2 months just to start drying before you start to unwrap it, all the way up to 6 months. That's if you're just trying to not rush it and if you have sort of that much studio space and you can be patient. Sometimes people tend to rush, and there's certain techniques that you can do to dry it out faster, such as creating sort of a dry box or a dry tent and then putting a dehumidifier in it. But you have to be very, very conscientious and cautious to do that in stages, as to not dry out the piece too quickly, thus creating cracks in your wares.
I mean, you don't want to put tissue paper in there and light it on fire?
Well, I mean, you could do that as far as sort of drying out the clay, but when you're actually, after it's finished and you're trying to slowly dry it to get all the water out of the piece before you go into bisque, because you don't want to put something in the bisque and blow it up.
Right.
I mean, that I'm sure has happened to everybody at some point in their life, and it's, it can be a heartbreaking experience, especially when you start throwing really large forms. There's definitely a learning curve. That's something June Kaneko really helped us out with as far as that whole process and passing on that information and knowledge with sort of firing and drying.
Well, I know Snyder makes a really huge monument of 6, 8, 10, 12 feet. He typically dries it 6 months to a year.
Oh yeah. Well, June's dongles will dry up to a year to a year and a half before he fires some really large pieces. Or the ones that he did in the we got the Bozeman kilns or the beehive kilns. Those sat for over a year and a half, I think, up to 2 years.
Sometimes can't they reabsorb water just from the environment?
Oh yeah, depending on the humidity factor, pieces can reabsorb moisture.
Yeah.